and welcome to another YouTube video on the Constructive Criticism YouTube channel. I'm Spencer, host of Constructive Criticism and Limited Time Only, two podcasts about getting better at Magic the Gathering. This is Wednesday Night Warrior, my weekly YouTube video about whatever I want to talk about, specifically in the realm of Magic the Gathering. Today, I want to talk about something that I think that I sometimes struggle with, and I think that Magic players in general can sometimes struggle with, and that's understanding your goals. So, I want to talk about goals in general. What makes a goal your goal? What makes a goal in Magic? How do you understand your goal? So, the first thing that we need to understand is, what is your goal in the Magic the Gathering? Is it winning your FNM? Is it winning your Win-A-Box? Is it winning a PBDQ? Is it qualifying for a Pro Tour? Is it top hitting a GP, top hitting an SCG, casting a GP, casting an SCG, maybe getting your first Pro point? What is your goal? And then, why is that your goal? Did you accomplish previous goals to make this a reasonable goal for you? Or are you kind of just picking something out of the blue, kind of arbitrary? What is happening that makes this the thing that you want to do in Magic the Gathering? I think this is a question that a lot of people need to ask themselves. So often I hear from Magic players, I could qualify for the Pro Tour. The pros all cheat. The pros are all lucky. The pros do this, and I can't do that. And it makes me wonder, do you actually know what it takes to be a pro Magic player? Or do you have unreasonable expectations of yourself and the goals that you set for yourself? For example, there are a lot of Magic players that only play PPTQs during Modern season. Modern is their favorite format. That's the only format that they play. So they wait until Modern season to play other formats. So let's talk about this. Just this example for just a second. So let's say that you play your weekly Modern event every week. You do really, really well. You find yourself at Modern PPTQs losing to players that aren't Modern players. Why does this happen? The reason this happens is because you've set an unrealistic expectation for yourself. You've decided that because you win your weekly Modern events, that you're the best Modern player around. But the truth is that the other players who are playing Standard, Limited, Modern, Legacy, against all of the field that they can play against all of the PPTQs, all of the Magic Online PTQs, they're getting more experience against better players. And you're stuck in your circle. So why is this an unrealistic expectation? And why is this an unrealistic goal? And I want to talk about that as we get into this. Because I think this and other things are the basic examples of this. So let's talk about setting your goals. I think that myself, like very early on in my Magic career, didn't understand what a reasonable goal was. So, back when I started playing Magic, there was this thing called ELO in Magic. So you qualified for Pro Tours, Worlds, Nationals, and you could see where you ranked among other Magic players through an ELO rating, similar to chess. And my goal was always to be top 10, top 5 in ELO rating. And I did that. I did it through playing in lots and lots of local events, small events. I played Magic 5 days a week. But here's the thing. I got a lot of concessions, I got a lot of draws, and I didn't quite understand like why players didn't respect me, right? It was like, what are you talking about? I'm like a top 5, top 10 ELO person in my state all the time. Why don't other players in my state respect me? And the reason for this is my goal was weird. Why does this matter? So, for example, today, maybe your goal is I want to be top X Planeswalker points in my area. Well, guess what? You can go farm Planeswalker points from local events. You can go farm Planeswalker points from playing in a lot of PPTQs. It's a goal that's weird. It doesn't have a tangible effect on like what is your skill level? What are you accomplishing? So, what are the kind of goals you might want to set for yourself? We have a Patreon on constructive criticism named Ryan. So one of our rewards is $25 per month. You can playtest with one of the co-hosts of Constructive Criticism of Limited Time Only. And Ryan has been doing this for longer than anybody else. His first goal was to win his first F&M. You know, he got a lot of time in with me. He won his first F&M. When we hit episode 100, he had won his first. He texted us telling us that he had won his first Win-A-Box. And eventually he started winning a lot. And he says, Spencer, I'm winning a lot. Like, what do I do from here? And I said, well, why do you think you're winning a lot? Are you winning? Are you going to PPTQs? Are you playing on Magic Online? Like, what is the thing that's making you win the most? And he felt like he was winning too much at his local store. So he moved stores. He started losing again. He's like, well, now I want to start winning at this store. So he set very clear barriers for himself. I want to win an F&M. I want to win a Win-A-Box. I want to win an F&M at this new store. I want to win a Win-A-Box at this new store. I want to win a PPTQ. And he's making incremental things for himself, depending on the skill level of other players, depending on his surroundings, and what he sees himself doing. And I think that the goals that you set for yourself need to be like, are you playing the best Magic that you can play? Not are you playing better than this random person at this random store. Not are you playing better than this group of players. But, like, what are you doing for you? And don't pigeonhole yourself, right? It's not, am I the best modern player in my area? Am I the best legacy player in my area? Am I the best standard player in my area? Am I the best drafter in my area? Maybe that is your goal. But that's separate from a bigger goal. And it kind of depends on what you want, right? If you want to be the best drafter in your area, the best modern player in your area, or so on and so forth, that's fine. But how are you measuring that? What are you doing to do that? And also, are you improving yourself as a Magic player while you're doing that? I don't know. What defines who you are as a Magic player and where you are trying to go is kind of up to you, and kind of up to the parameters you put around your goal. A really good example of this is top 8s. So early on in my Magic career, my goal was just to top 8 every PTQ I played in. I top 8'd a lot of PTQs. This is old PTQs, right? So this is before PPTQs where the winner of the PTQ qualified for a Pro Tour. And that was it. That was the end of the story. I top 8'd a lot. But you know what I didn't do? I didn't win. Do you know why? It's because once I got to that top 8, when it was my goal, I was satisfied. I find this to be a really big problem with the PPTQ system. Is so many players, their goal is to top 8 that PPTQ, get some of their money back, and then see what happens. A problem with that is, what is your actual goal when you go to that event? Are you trying to win that event? Are you trying to top 8? If you're trying to top 8, congratulations. You top 8'd like a 30-man event, a 25-man event, a 15-man event. What are you trying to do? And I think that the top 8 for so many players is a barrier to entry. And the reason for that is because of how hard it is to top 8 something like a Pro Tour. So when you look at a Pro Tour, you are competing against the top 500 players in the world, right? Maybe a little bit less, probably not a little bit more. There's not very many Pro Tours to get above that now. But why is it so important that we measure the Hall of Fame in top 8s? It's because Magic has variance, right? But here's the thing, is that as you grow, your goal should change. So let's say you've top 8'd 3, 2, 7. How many PPTQs do you need to top 8 before top 8ing that PPTQ is not important anymore? For me, it took me a long time to understand, what is my goal? Am I actually happy top 8ing these PPTQs? And the first season of PPTQs, I was like, this is stupid. I shouldn't be happy top 8ing. I should want to win. I qualified for my first Pro Tour. And I think that a lot of people suffer from this. This feeling of satisfaction that you've accomplished something, even though it might not have even been your goal. Maybe your goal was to win, but you're like, well, at least if I don't win, I don't accomplish my goal, I got my money back. But that's the problem, is it was never your goal to begin with. I think that this happens a lot in different types of tournaments. When I look at something like Sealed is my favorite format. Why is it my favorite format? I feel like it has the most edge. I feel like I can do more with a bad pool than a player that's worse than me. And because of that, I gain a significant incremental advantage that I don't get in standard or modern or legacy because I'm doing better with a worse pile of cards because my opponent either misbuilt their deck, doesn't know how to play with the cards that they're playing. I feel like Sealed gives me that advantage. And I feel like if you make the most of what you have, maybe you understand the modern metagame really well, right? From playing in all those local modern events, you have a clear understanding. You need to make the most of that understanding. It's not proving yourself to your local players that you're the best player from a couple of top eights. It's like why do you have that clear understanding? And what does that make what does that separate you from those other players in your area, or bigger than that, those players online, or bigger than that, the pro community? You have to have a goal for yourself that separates who you were yesterday, who you are today, and who you can be tomorrow. Because at the end of the day, something has to move forward. Because that's why you set goals. It's not so that you can win your FNM, because you've done that, right? If that was your goal and you did it and you've done it 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, it shouldn't be your goal anymore. Because you should always want to be improving. That's the point of constructive criticism, right? Every week on the podcast, we talk about always improving. And let's say that you start to win all of your FNMs, right? At some point, you're making money in Magic. Okay, so take that money, put it into your next goal, and be improving. This isn't just going to help you in Magic. If there's anything that I've learned in my life, it's that as I set goals to win my FNM, to win a PD, to top 8 a PDQ, to top 8 at the next event, to win the next event, it's that I can apply these lessons in life. I can improve in who I am as a person by applying the lessons I learned in Magic and getting better as a human. The other thing that I think that happens a lot is you need to understand that you have more shots at what you want. So often a player will say, well, this was my shot to win this event, and I won't get another shot. And that's true. You only get so many shots, right? Magic has variants. You only have so many tournaments. But what you did to improve at the shot that you just took is more important than the end result. Maybe you didn't achieve your goal, but did you get closer to your goal? Did you do everything you could to achieve your goal? And I think that's a matter of dedication versus expectation. When you go to a lot of local events, you'll hear some interesting things from players. They'll say pros are cheaters, they'll say pros are so lucky, and the truth is that they're wrong. The best players in the world are the best players in the world because they have the right amount of dedication, and you have the wrong expectation. You think that because, and by the way, when I say you, I don't mean you, the listener. I mean you, the person that surround yourself in the idea that you're as good as PV or Owen or Huey, but you're just unlucky, or you don't have the time. And the truth is that PV, Owen, and Huey make the time because they have an expectation of what they want themselves to achieve, and they properly dedicate themselves to that expectation. If you don't do that, you're not going to achieve your goal. So let's talk about FNM for a second, right? So let's go all the way from Huey down to the FNM level. What did you do to achieve your FNM win? And this is important. Did you do the right things? Did you do the wrong things? Did you get lucky? Because so much can happen in a match of Magic the Gathering, you have to understand, where did this come from? And what did I do to prepare? What did I do to get better? And I think that that's where people don't understand their goals. Your goal is all-encompassing. It's about you. It's not about the person next to you. It's not even about the person across from you that you're playing against. It's about, what did I do to try and achieve that goal and get better at this game? I hope that I'm coming across clear here, because I don't feel like I'm rambling. I feel like I'm clearly communicating that me, as a as Spencer Howland, sometimes I'm bad at this. Sometimes early in my career, I was like, top hitting is important when I shouldn't have been focusing on that. And I think that PPTQs have created this problem. I think that FNMs have created this problem. I think that localized communities create this problem for players that could be so much better at this game. Maybe that's not your goal. Maybe you just want to win your FNM. Maybe you just want to be the best limited player, modern player. That's okay. But what are you doing to achieve this goal is what's most important. Thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget to check out puremtgo.com and flipsidegaming.com for our sponsors. We really appreciate them, and we'll see you guys all next week for another Wednesday Night Warrior.